Good afternoon and welcome to this meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety for the City of Huntington on Monday, May 18th, 2026. Prior to calling the meeting to order, we'll begin with a roll call. Also want to acknowledge that obviously we're in a different space, and so I encourage all the board members to speak up and enunciate clearly with questions or comments. As members of the public step up, they'll be able to use the microphone there to make sure that we capture everything. But we will actually need everyone to speak up clearly for folks in the room to be able to follow along. Recognize the inconvenience of it, but it is necessary right now while the main facility is under construction, so, or remodel. So, with that then, roll call.
Mayor Strick,
Present.
Danielle Albertson,
Present.
Megan Von Breyk,
Present.
Ian Lindsay,
Present.
Anthony Lucinikia.
Present.
Thank you, Julie. Having established a quorum for the conducting of city business then, we'll move along to consideration of the minutes from the previous meeting of May 4th, 2026 regular meeting. Is there a motion to bring those minutes to the floor for consideration and adoption?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second regarding the May 4th minutes. Further discussion or consideration? Not hearing any at this time, we'll call the question in favor of adoption of the minutes as submitted for May 4th regular meeting. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The May 4th minutes are adopted. Next item are minutes from the May 18th executive session that was just conducted. Is there a motion to bring those to the floor for consideration and adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second regarding the May 18th executive session minutes. Is there further discussion or consideration? Not hearing any at this time, we'll call the question in favor of adoption of the minutes as submitted. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries and the minutes are adopted for the executive session. Not aware of any old business today. Our first item under new business is regarding a new employee recommendation. So I want to invite Chief Johnson to come forward and present to the board on that behalf. Is there a motion to bring this to the floor for consideration?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Chief, welcome back.
Good afternoon. I have a candidate, Austin Dancer, for the position of firefighter. He's met all the requirements for Huntington Fire Department. And I ask the board's recommendation to approve the hire of Austin Dancer.
I move for the full approval of the hire of Austin Dancer.
Second.
A motion and second regarding the hire for Austin Dancer in the fire department. Further discussion? Not hearing any, we'll call the question in favor of affirming the recommendation on hiring Austin Dancer as our next firefighter for the city of Huntington. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Next item on the agenda is a tree nursery memorandum of understanding between the city and the Huntington County Community School Corporation. Is there a motion to bring that to the floor for consideration and approval?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Director Crutchers.
Yes, this memorandum of understanding between the city and the school corporation is for the establishment of a tree nursery. This is going on ground up near the Learning Center. Essentially what this agreement says is that the city is going to incur the costs associated with establishment of the nursery. The school corporation, the Huntington North High School, and their green team are going to essentially take care of the day-to-day maintenance and the ongoing needs of the trees to keep them alive till they can be planted. Essentially, the goal is to add about 500 trees every year to the nursery, and on approximately a 5-year rotation, depending on the growth of the trees, they would be harvested out of the nursery and planted throughout the city. The school corporation has signed this memorandum of understanding. All funding for the establishment of the nursery would actually be coming out of a grant that the city received through the U.S. Forest Service. That was a $1 million grant that we were using to plant trees throughout the city. A portion of that was the establishment of a tree nursery. So it would be my recommendation that the board authorize the mayor to sign this memorandum of understanding, and then we can move forward with this. The goal is to actually start the nursery. I believe they're putting it together on May 21st.
Questions or comments by board members?
Is this Slack Park?
No.
It's 349 Byron.
The learning center.
That's
Was it,
a
oh,
That's
that's
the
something
other
separate?
item.
Okay, where is
That's-
this, where is this nursery?
Up by the Learning Center, up on North
Oh.
Jefferson Street.
Creek Bum property.
Cream
Yes.
Bomb property.
Yes.
Got it, okay.
Do we
It
know,
is between Craig Baum and the Learning Center itself, near the community garden.
this green team, I'm enjoying this. Worked with them a little bit at the Arbor Day. Do we know when that was established up there?
The green team,
Yeah,
I
or
don't know.
about? It's
2 years ago.
very good, thank
Thanks,
you.
Emily.
Quite
Will there
liking
be
it.
a structure, or are they just planting directly in the ground for like seedlings?
Emily, you
and
wanna
things
answer
like
those
that?
questions? We'll have Emily, the
Tell us a little
city
bit of the
forester and
details.
arborist on that.
Hey.
Hi,
to answer
everyone.
that.
Hello.
Nice to be here. So this is going to be in a process similar to a nursery established in Evansville, Indiana, through a arborist named Tom Guggenheim. So he developed the tube tree, and so he takes state saplings and he plants them in a tube about 2 feet tall and between 6 inches to 8 inches in diameter, and then they just will grow within that tree. So they're technically above ground, but the roots will eventually push down into the ground. It's an easy harvest process of just popping the roots out, and then you just transplant it. So kind of both for that question. Originally they're just gonna be in the tubes. The official, when we finalize the establishment, so this is just a temporary one on the 21st, there will be like full structures that will host all of the trees, and then also allow for irrigation, shade, all that stuff that provides care for, make sure the trees are going to get to where we can then harvest them. But the temporary one is just, we're gonna put the trees in the tubes and then keep them in these little, basically between 2 timber sets, and then as long as they stay standing, then they're pretty set, so.
What's the benefit of the tube when it comes to transplanting the tree later on?
It makes it a much smoother process of the transplant. The tube will actually prevent the tree from creating like long extending roots that you then, with most nurseries, have to actually cut off, which limits the growth. It puts the tree in a state of shock, and it takes them much longer to start establishing, versus the theory is that these will instead be basically, instead of having this small area that they're growing in itself and put in this area of expansive soil and nutrients and resources, allowing for establishment to be a lot quicker. It would only take probably about a year for it to really get used to its new home, and then it would basically exponential growth after that. So we actually this spring are testing it out. I'm gonna see how it goes by next year for the new establishment, so.
And he's been successful with this process in Evansville.
Evansville swears by it. That's where they get most of their trees. The city forester down there, Sean Dickerson, he's the one who put me on Tom Guggenheim and this process. It's much cheaper, it takes much less room, and allows for us as a small city to find a source of trees that will be beneficial for us in the long run.
And the green team, is that specifically just like a group or a volunteer thing for the high school?
It's ran through the high school. Steve Park is in charge of it, and even after his retirement this year, he's still going to stay as a lead there. So that's maintaining a long-term use of guidance and what he's been helping to build there, which is really great. And right now, at the beginning of this school year, they were around 30 students. I think they've
Great.
increased that to almost 40.
Good, good deal.
And, yeah.
Does the memo of understanding have some sort of time frame in it for this nursery, or it'll always be a nursery from henceforth?
Yeah, so initially, right now, it is a 5-year term,
Okay.
but the plan would be that it continues, but at this point, it is a 5-year term, because that's the initial time of harvest would be about 5 years from now.
Can we sell the trees?
That's not the intent.
So,
That's not what I asked.
that answer is gonna be no.
Okay.
So really, as Director Crutchers alluded to, this comes from a grant through the federal government, and it fits with the recognition here in the city of Huntington that more trees helps with stormwater, it helps with clean air, it helps with temperature regulation, which lowers our energy costs. So there's lots of benefits to trees. Most importantly, we all get to breathe. And so when we started looking at how do we expand through partnership with private sector as well as on public land, publicly owned land, and adding more trees in, current market costs, like if you're doing landscaping in your yard, and you try to do that on the scale of the city, becomes very, very cost prohibitive very quickly. And so this was a way of making the investment through the grant, which lowers the cost per unit for being able to plant trees throughout the city in public right-of-ways, or to some degree in partnership with private partners as well. So, but these are all native as well, and they're not intended to be ornamental trees. So we trust that the private sector nurseries will continue to fulfill that function in our community, while we're more focused on classic native hardwood growth.
Yeah, I was just thinking about other communities that wouldn't have a resource like this, that,
If we get to the point where we have a surplus of trees that other communities might avail themselves of, then I suppose that the
Cross that
future
bridge.
administrations could cross that bridge 25 years from now.
Yeah. okay, okay,
Because I think that's how long range our project is here, so.
Hopefully.
yeah.
I mean, essentially, our goal is to not have to buy trees
Sure.
to replace them and install them on any of our projects or just in general.
Yeah, great,
So,
Very good.
very good.
Which, for Tipton Street along with long-term control plan, how many trees will we be required to
50.
replace through that? At a cost of,
$200 to $300 a tree.
Two.
That was almost, and for $400, we bought all the saplings to start this year's 500 tree.
so the cost
So-
of 2 trees allows us to set up 500 trees for moving forward.
Cool.
Also good to clarify that the $1 million is not how much it costs us to start this nursery.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, a very small portion
That
of
is
that
a
going to
lot
this.
of trees.
So,
This is a memo of understanding that you're signing on our behalf, or signing on the city's behalf.
yes,
Okay, I move for approval of the mayor to sign on our behalf of the memo of understanding for the tree nursery.
A second.
a motion and second, further discussion and consideration. Not seeing or hearing any at this time, we'll call the question in favor of the motion to authorize the MOU between the city and the school corporation. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the encroachment agreement for 349 Byron Street. Is there a motion to bring that to the floor for discussion and consideration?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, Director Crutchers.
Yes, at 349 Byron Street, the property owner recently applied for a new building permit to replace the exterior stairs out of the building from the upstairs, from the second story. As you can see here on the screen, it is those stairs right there out the second story. Because of the width of the right-of-way on Byron Street, the face of that building is actually the edge of the right-of-way. So those stairs, in order to be compliant with code, would extend out into the right-of-way. He can't put a landing on them and turn them north because they would be also crossing property lines to the north. So his only option is for them to extend into the public right-of-way. So this license simply allows the encroachment of those stairs into the public right-of-way. They're in the right-of-way, but they're not out onto the public sidewalk, in that they won't be obstructing any of the walkable path for any of the general public. So that is why it is my recommendation that the board authorize the mayor to sign the license for the encroachment of those stairs into the public right-of-way.
If a future owner would want to repeat this process, would they have to come back here and ask again for approval on another encroachment?
Yeah, license.
Yes,
is
the
gonna be
license is
specific.
tied to the current property owner.
Do you know, are they going back with wood? Do you
I
know?
believe so, yeah, is that correct?
Yeah.
Further question or discussion? Okay, not seeing or hearing any at this time, is there a motion to authorize the encroachment agreement for 349 Byron Street?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, further discussion? Call the question in favor of the agreement, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries and the agreement is authorized. Next item on the agenda is review and discussion regarding a recent action by city council, and just to make the board aware of it, doesn't require board action today, but wanted a chance to address it in a public meeting and allow you to ask any questions on it. Is there a motion to bring the Southside Grocery Store loan to the floor for consideration and discussion, review and discussion today?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. As the mayor of the city of Huntington, you wear many hats and you have many job descriptions. There's about over 17,000 people who live here in the community. Each of them has a different job description for you. And early in my time here in the community, I lived here on the south side of Huntington. I shopped at Marsh Grocery Store, and Marsh Grocery was incentivized by the city through the use of TIF and the RDC to redevelop that entire Marsh Plaza and allow that grocery store to invest there. Owens South was a long-standing local grocery that was then purchased by Kroger, and the city then also incentivized the growth of new grocery stores on the north side of the community on the US 24, both the Walmart Supercenter as well as Owens North Kroger, also funded and incentivized through TIF dollars and the RDC. So the city has had a long history of intervening in the marketplace to support businesses that have a significant public benefit, such as a grocery store. Now, what we saw here on the south side of Huntington, not uncommon in other communities as well, Owens South announced its closure in early 2019, late 2018, and they had a variety of reasons that went into that. And we know from talking to local management that per square foot, it was actually a very profitable store. The space was outdated, it was small. Those of us who shop there were very loyal to it. But ultimately, corporate decisions in Cincinnati made a good corporate business decision and realized, why do we have two stores in the same community when if we have just one, we lower our overhead, and the odds are customers will follow us up to the north. And by and large, they've been right. The Marsh Grocery Store was successful until they went through some severe corporate, what I would entail is business mismanagement, and ultimately went bankrupt as an entire entity statewide. And so its closure was not reflected in the sense of it being low sales or not profitable here in the city of Huntington. There was other management issues there in their corporate structure. So throughout 2019 into present day, here in local government, one of the blessings we have is continuous and ongoing public input. And so as the mayor and as a candidate to run for mayor, this was a recurring theme amongst our Southside residents is, can we get a grocery store? What can the city do to get a grocery store? And so over the course of the years, I've approached several national chains. I know that private investors in our community have as well, and we've not been successful with it. And one day, after another no from a corporate grocery chain, had a chance encounter with Matt Ditzler from the Community Foundation in the hallway of the city building, and he shared about a model he'd heard of from Topeka, Indiana. And in Topeka, Indiana, coming out of the Great Recession in 2008, they had a food desert. They didn't have any grocery food options. And in 2011, they launched a private venture that allowed their community to invest and buy shares and then become a licensed Save-A-Lot. Now that Save-A-Lot in Topeka is still operating to this day. It's been a successful venture for them, but what it gave them was local ownership and control alongside of the national economies of scale and the market analysis that Save-A-Lot brings to the table. Here in our own community then, that led to approaching several individuals to see if they would be interested in serving as a volunteer board to launch this sort of venture here in our community. So for the past 2 years, they have been working diligently with securities attorneys to make sure that they stay in line with federal requirements. And so they have gotten to the point where they're ready to move forward with soon with a public offering that would allow Huntington residents and otherwise to buy shares in a local grocery store venture. Now, of course, that comes with all sorts of risk caveats, and every household will have to decide on its own whether or not it's a worthy investment or not. But in the meantime, as mayor, I worked with them and talked with them, and when they were looking for a loan as it related to some of their construction and their initial investment, we approached the EDC, the Economic Development Corporation of the city, or commission of the city, to give consideration under Indiana statute to provide a loan. And so the terms of that loan were then referred to council and approved in subsequent council meetings. Now, this is a loan for $200,000. It's over 2 years. It's at 5% interest. It has an option to extend for a third year. The security for such a city loan is the reality that it will not be expended and can only be expended for construction costs and associated costs around that. So they need to go to their private offering first and see what sort of capital they can raise before they can utilize the city's loan. Once they've made that raise, they then have cash assets, and that loan would be secured by those cash assets at that point. Now, the city is already in a position where the loan would be subordinate to any traditional financing through a bank, should they decide they need to pursue that in the future. But some folks have asked, why didn't we use an abatement on this process? And an abatement is a tool that local units of government can use at any time to help ease corporate investments. In this case, though, the potential location they're looking at, they would not own the building, and thus they do not have any real property tax obligation. It also is money that would help them with their management of cash flows down the road, but not on their initial startup when it comes to design fees or architectural costs, which are associated with this project. So that's why we decided to use a loan mechanism as a way to allow the city to support this venture by our neighbors who are working as a purely volunteer, non-compensated board, and attempt to address a long-standing community issue through that, which I think is the obligation of local government. The key with this and making this loan is that it is not a government-run grocery store. We're not gonna be good at that. There's not a city that I'm aware of in the United States that's been good at that. Many have tried. Most of them have failed. What has worked in those cities, including Chicago and otherwise, has been partnership with the private sector, with folks who know the grocery market, know that business, and working alongside of them to make that investment. Because the corporate entities, and the reason why I was struggling in my conversations and attempts to just bring one in, they look at traffic counts, and they only look at traffic counts. And so we would start a conversation about the location on the south side of Huntington, which is on a state highway, which is part of US 224, but those traffic counts are lower than US 24. And so then they would want to talk about, well, what if we put it up on US 24? Well, that doesn't solve the problem, and it exacerbates the other problems that we have, which mainly, as we look at this and recognize we are working on behalf of all of our residents, it's not just about solving the grocery and food desert issues on the south side of Huntington, though that is a high priority here. It's also about alleviating traffic congestion on the north side, which is caused because all of the grocery stores are north of the bypass at this point. So we have a long-standing history here in the city of Huntington of working with the private sector to support economic development, and this fits and aligns with that history, and I think it helps solve a long-standing community problem. And so we're happy to continue answering questions from the public about this and discussing it further. We appreciate the public's input, their concerns, their questions, but ultimately, as we work in a representative democracy, and that's how we've chosen to operate this republic of ours, it's our job as civil servants to bring forth the best ideas and then bring it through the public process with it. And so in this case, it went through City Council, not through the Board of Works, so that we have other elected officials duly appointed by the citizens of this community to do this sort of work. And so with that, I do want to open up to board members. If you have any question or comment regarding the venture or comments that you may have seen on social media that you wanna bring to the surface so that we can discuss them here.
Who is Southside Grocery? And who will sign these documents ultimately?
So the four members of the board are Romero from Los Amigos, Nicole Gatchell, Ryan Wall, and Amanda Atkins.
Are these residents of the south side of Huntington? Is that their interest?
One is a resident of the south side, one owns a business on the south side, one is a resident on the north side, and the other, I'm not sure where the residency is, but their business is downtown.
So that board will get the loan.
That entity,
That
yes.
entity will
Yeah,
get the loan.
yeah, not the board members personally,
Right.
so, yep.
Who's kind of leading that? Who would be the president of that board?
Nicole Gatchell would be the one who has the best grasp on the financials of it.
So they go in, they establish where they wanna go, they take care of all their financing, and then, once all that's been established, then they can have the loan?
So what they're working through right now, yeah, they have to work through the Securities and Exchange Commission's rules regarding issuing a private stock venture. And it's very tightly regulated ever since the Great Depression. And so, once they finalize the pro forma, which to finalize the pro forma, they also need some further input from Save-A-Lot on this. But once they finalize that, they can make a public offering with it. And they, again, this is part of the challenge with the SEC laws, is they can't share these things. I'm not part of the venture, so I can talk about it. This is all hearsay, by the way, as far as the SEC is concerned.
Right, sure.
But as they go forward in it, they have to follow those strict adherence to it to ensure that they don't run afoul of federal law.
So why only $200,000? Why didn't we give them more?
So ultimately, what they're gonna be raising in their capital ask is they're looking to raise $2 million. And for the city, it's important for us to provide meaningful but symbolic support to this. We can't be the main driver of a market venture.
Sure.
So in this case, this is seed money that helps with architecture fees or other associated costs around the construction that'll help them to finalize everything as they're going forward with it.
So, but what I read in the agreement was that they could buy assets with it, is that not right? They can't buy shelving and freezers or anything with that money?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they can?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
listed.
separate from that, but it's,
Read the email, in the email.
Oh, I read the document.
Equipment and furnishings.
Yes.
Rehab renovation.
mhm.
It just hard costs, not.
Yeah, hard costs, not salaries.
Right.
Not,
So is there gonna
Financial
be
consultant.
like a minimum buy-in
Per share.
per
There
share?
will be a targeted cost per share.
Okay,
so-
and is that to be determined?
I think they're
Or-
close to having it, but until
Okay.
they publicly disclose it, and, I do know what they've targeted with it, and I'm not being coy here, but I also
No.
don't wanna paint them into a
Right,
corner.
sure, sure.
But what they're targeting is a share price that would allow the average household, should it have some reasonable means or savings,
And
to
that's
purchase
my-
a share in it.
Cause I mean, I'm from the south side, we're from the south side, and, you know, we can be a little more, I'll be honest, we can be a little more economically depressed in that area, and I wanna make sure, you know, it's something maybe affordable for, you know, folks.
Yeah,
So-
and we also recognize the reality that it won't be affordable for everyone.
No, sure,
But,
I mean, it's a grocery store, I'm not, here's $5.
well, I mean the shares.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
cost of the groceries themselves should be.
no,
But
that's what I
the-
meant, I'm not gonna be able to afford a grocery store.
In Topeka, their shares went initially for $2,500 a share.
Okay,
And in my estimation, that puts it out of reach of a number of Huntington households.
Yeah.
And so they have worked hard to get well below that number.
Okay.
And I think that they're landing in a good place with it, from what they've shared. But again, until they have their finalized pro forma, I don't wanna get into more specifics than that.
thank you.
With Save-A-Lot, is there a contract with them?
Not yet.
Okay, but
So
close-
Save-A-Lot has their own criteria they have to meet as part of this process, and that's been one reason why it's been 2 years of working through this. Because usually what Save-A-Lot is used to is one person with at least $1 million and $300,000 in liquid assets comes to them and says, I wanna open a grocery store. And there aren't many of us in town that have that capacity and interest to do so. And so this is an alternative way of raising that capital to meet those criteria. But Save-A-Lot comes in then as a corporate partner, licensing with them to help with economies of scale, product acquisition, and operating the grocery store. So there will be a local operator hired as part of this process, but they're not there yet.
Now, is there a backup plan if they don't receive the amount of money they're targeting with the shares? Like, are they still able to proceed even if they don't receive money from people from the community buying in?
No, I don't think so. This is an opportunity for our community to literally put our money where our mouth is. If we're serious about a Southside grocery store, we need to take the reins for ourselves instead of waiting on corporate entities that aren't based here to come to our rescue.
Are there more than one location possibilities, or is they kind of set on one particular place?
They've identified a likely location and have been in serious negotiations regarding the terms of it, and as far as I know, are near finalization of that agreement.
Okay.
So what's next? Just,
They finish their paperwork, get everything in order, and they make a public offer.
okay, okay.
Yep. So, in the meantime, the loan from the city, again, as I noted earlier, is not intended to be drawn on until later this year, after they've done their public offering and begun to raise capital around it. Okay. Further questions or comments from board members? All right, thank you for the opportunity to review and discuss that with you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving along on the agenda, under ordinance enforcement, first item under this is regarding public hearing for 1143 Harris Street. This time I want to open it up to the members of the public. If there's anyone in the general public that doesn't have a direct connection to the property that would like to address the board regarding it, and this is your time to step forward and share. Welcome, sir. May you state your name and address for the record, please?
My name's Tim Funk. I live at 1105 Raynock Drive in Anderson, Indiana. I'm representing the company that owns the property.
Okay, so Mr. Funk, you'll have a chance to address the board as we get into the actual order of enforcement, since you're here on behalf of the owner. So at this time, you can return to your seat, and we'll conclude the public hearing, and then when we move into the matter, we'll invite you back up at that
And
time.
I've given all the paperwork that.
Great, awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Any members of the public not directly connected to the property or its ownership interest that would like to address the board on the matter? Okay, not seeing or hearing any at this time, we will close the public hearing and move along to the order of enforcement regarding 1143 Harris Street. Is there a motion to bring the matter to the floor for consideration and discussion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. So, Commissioner Paul.
Good afternoon. The owner of the property is IBYH LLC, out of 4000 West 106th Street, Carmel, Indiana. That order of enforcement was issued on April 30th, 2026, with a deadline date of 30 days, around approximately 30 days, which was May 30th, 2026. There were 13 unsafe violations, 15 minimum housing violations, along with 16 corrective measures for compliance. And just to note that the initial inspection was done from the exterior only, as no one was present to allow entry on this property.
Okay. Commissioner Paul, anything else to add at this time?
I did receive, when Tim came in today, he did bring a packet that has their project overview, estimated costs and timelines for the project, outside work, inside work, listed out, noted. Their estimation on the timeline, the outside scope of the work is to be completed by June 30th, and the inside scope is to be completed by August 31st. So if the board's so entertained, they could, on that August 31st, that time frame would be close to that would be the August 17th Board of Works meeting, which would be approximately 89 days from today.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Funk? Yeah, we'll welcome you back to the podium now. Welcome, we'd love to hear more about the plans for the property.
Well, like I said, I'm just representing the owner.
Yep.
I've talked to them. They've got 4 or 5 crews that work for them. I'm really surprised. I asked the person next to me here, I said, is that the house? I haven't even seen it. They don't let them get like this. I mean, I've been all over the state with their properties. And, they've sent you guys paperwork on where they ordered materials, and they'll have crews up here on this, I'm sure. If they told you it'll be done by a certain time, it'll be done. I mean, I've seen houses that are falling down, they bought in Muncie, and you would not believe.
Okay. And do you work with one of the crews for them? What's your
I
relationship?
kind of oversee,
Okay.
yeah.
Questions or comments from board members?
Can I take a look at the timeline that you got?
Yes. I just received that today, or I would have sent it in your packets.
And they got a material list also where they've ordered and when it's gonna be delivered, and some of it's reordered.
Yep.
So they wouldn't have done that if they're not planning on, you know,
Remind me again when they took, possession of this property?
November of 2018, I believe. Is that,
No, because it's transferred 4 times. When did IBYH take this one? That's why I was confused, because
Yes.
it's done a few times.
November 14th, 2018.
Oh, that was then, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought in 2023, I seen a picture where there was curtains in the windows and people living there, so. I don't know.
20, what?
2023. There's nobody lived there, what'd you say, 7 years?
Since they took, it's weird, we had an order of enforcement issued on the property before, and when that order was released on October 2nd of 2017, then the property started getting transferred from person to entity to entity to entity, and no one has lived there since that October 2nd of 2017.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Like I said, they got crews, they got licensed electrician, licensed plumbers, they got crews, roofing crews, interior, exterior.
do you know their intention with the property? In this case, are they planning to bring it back up and flip it, or are they
I
gonna
don't
rent
think
it?
they'll
or-
probably keep it,
Okay,
yeah, they're single family houses, they keep them and sell a lot of apartment complexes. But like I said, they're all over the state, I mean.
okay. Other questions or comments from board members?
Are there any other properties in Huntington that they're currently working on?
I don't think there is, no.
Okay, Anthony, you got a chance to review that timeline? Did you have any comment in light of it?
No, I think, no, we can discuss it later. Unless you want to discuss it now, I think we should. I was
You
gonna-
mean at a future meeting?
No, I was like, well, I wanted to entertain a motion, but I don't know,
If we don't have further discussion or consideration, yeah, we can entertain a
Yeah.
motion to modify the order, or,
yeah, I'm inclined to, I don't know what everyone else thinks, but if we're coming back based on their timeline, let's see, June 30th, they're gonna be done with the outside, which means they could come back here on the 15th and report back to us.
15th of June?
Yeah, is that what I said? I said July.
Outside June 30th.
Okay.
But I would like to see POs or invoices that were paid for all the material, for all the siding, all the soffit.
Was that part of that packet?
Okay.
Oh, there was other information, Lydia. In there with,
June 15th on the outside.
they might have already gave that. I don't
It's all
know
under
what's in
one
there.
order, so it would just be,
Okay.
But if not, I'll back you.
Well, if you're telling me that they showed you a PO where they actually bought this material,
It was ordered and
I seen it.
got delivery dates.
Okay, something from Lowe's was, yeah.
okay, and it's siding, and what is it?
Windows, siding, doors,
The soffit,
drywall.
fascia.
Plumbing,
fascia.
plumbing fixtures?
I don't know if I got that far yet, but
Okay.
yeah.
so then
You
I'm
have to
hearing,
understand, they have a big warehouse, and a lot of the plumbing fixtures and tubs, sinks, you just don't pick them up, put them on the trailer home. The Mountains Mall in Anderson is their warehouse. So, but now they don't keep drywall because of the.
Yeah,
moisture.
Okay.
Lumber, siding, stuff like that, they'll get, order windows, and Lowe's will drop them off.
so Anthony, you're making a motion to modify the order to
Yeah, I would-
extend it to June 15th?
Yes.
I second that.
And then as part of that, you'd like to see the documentation on just some of the initial orders and materials provided to Commissioner Paul. He can provide that to the board then at the next meeting.
Yes, please. And I think that, I think it all in good order as long as this house has been dragging out. I think if you have pictures of the fixtures that you're gonna put in that are in your warehouse, bring them and show them to us.
When do you want all this?
Next time you come in, probably.
June 15th? Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
So any of the materials that you have electronically, you can pass along to Commissioner Paul. He can provide those updates to the board as they go. And then at the June 15th meeting, then if you can come in and show progress on the site and what you guys are doing. Because obviously, if your goal is June 30th for the exterior, you'll have made some progress by then.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
Might need to go.
Okay, is there anything else associated with your motion?
No, sir.
Okay, so we've got a motion and second to modify the order of enforcement to June 15th, 2026 for update on progress and providing documentation of the materials that have been ordered. Further discussion and consideration of the motion? Not seeing or hearing any at this time, we'll call a question in favor of the modification of the order of enforcement. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Funk.
So I need to plan on being back here
And I'll-
3:30?
I'll email Jason and let him know all this,
Cool, yeah.
and it'll go in the mail.
All right.
Yes,
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next item on the agenda, we do have status reports for 631 First Street. Is there a motion to bring that to the floor for consideration and update?
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and second. Commissioner Paul?
Yes, that property is owned by Hanover Lending LLC, 2042 Broadway, Fort Wayne, Indiana. That order of enforcement was issued on September 30th, 2025, originally with a October 30th, 2025 deadline. At that time, there were 8 unsafe violations, 9 minimum housing violations, along with 8 corrective measures for compliance. To date, the board has granted 5 modifications, which is an extension of time for the order of enforcement. The order of enforcement has been in effect for 230 days to date. And so far, there has been $12,500 worth of willful failure to comply fines. The owner was to appear today to report back on the status of the remaining corrective measures for compliance. I was there today and took pictures.
They're in HIC format, I can't do that, your iPhone's converting from JPEG to HEIC for storage.
Well, I could look at them on my computer. I opened them up and looked at them on my computer, made sure they showed. This is not on this computer, is it?
Yes, I don't have it.
Okay.
So describe
As-
to us what you saw.
As of today, I would say about, okay. So as of today, there was about 75% of the main body of the home has been painted a darker gray in color. The only thing that had not been painted was the trims, fascia, soffits, and doors. The detached garage was about 90% completed of painting. Again, they just needed to do the fascias and soffits of the garage, and that's it. The window repairs, some of the broken windows that had been fixed, so they're good there. So as of now, they have completed 3 of the 8 corrective measures for compliance, which the big one would just be the roofing assembly on the house has not yet been repaired. And I know Josephine they're in process of trying to get a roofing company to come in and get the work done.
This house is vacant, correct?
Yes.
Any follow-up questions or comments for Commissioner Paul?
That roofing issue doesn't cause any threat to the public safety?
Not immediate, but I mean, there is shingles coming off
Okay,
in the wind.
we've had that.
Yes,
Do you feel like this is causing any internal damage?
it has to be. Because it's gotten worse. Since the orders started, it's gotten worse.
I
The
didn't know
roof.
how many layers you think I had, if it's,
Oh, it's down to the bare deck and
okay.
open holes in the roof.
Have we received any communication from any neighbors about nuisance of picking up shingles or anything?
The people right to the north, I talked to them one day and they're just happy to see something's being done with it. So they didn't really have many complaints. They were just happy to see something was being done with it.
Are you gonna wanna go back in and look?
I've never been inside. That's another one where it was done from the exterior only and have never been back inside, or never been inside.
All right, any other questions or comments for Commissioner Paul at this point?
What was the last contact you had was,
Oh, Mrs. Shopper's here.
okay.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, once we finish.
Okay, yep, okay.
Mhm.
No, I don't have any more questions for Shep at this time.
All right. Ms. Shopper, I know you're back there somewhere. There we go. So, welcome back. What does the board need to know about the progress and the work you're doing on scheduling the roofing company, or your son's doing on behalf of the corporate?
That's definitely the most important thing on the agenda, and that of course should have been maybe put in place before we even did other exterior work. And as we said, the painting is about finished. Well, it's raining again today. I got pictures yesterday, so it was not quite finished, and I was going to drive by that. It was cooling down. That's a bad thing to say concerning a house that has a bad roof. But anyway, patching wouldn't have done any good, and it needs a new roof, and it needs a good roof, and my son is very particular. So when he gets, say, a proposal from somebody, an estimate to do the roof, well, he wants to look at work they have done, and he wants to make sure it was done correctly, and he understands all that himself, but he's a busy guy, and that is no excuse either, but he is really hard at work at getting that roof scheduled. And the painting, well, it could be finished this week, I would say, you know, we're quite close when they finally got around to it with colors and so.
So then at this point, he's not yet found a roofer that he wants to work with.
Well, he spoke to this Amish fellow, and there have been recommendations from, what is the building supply store in Huntington?
Builder's Mark?
Yeah. Our accountant had dealings, well, he worked for Builders Mart for years, so he would recommend somebody by the name of Schwartz, and I said, well, do you have another name or two that Brian could get in contact with to get this done for once and for all? I mean, he knows it's pressing, and there we are.
But that was a month ago.
Well, yes,
We had the
and
same conversation a month ago.
Well, it was the paint and the broken window and the roof.
Yeah.
Because the roof is most important, as we understand.
Right, so I think that that would be the first thing that you want to attack, right?
Mhm.
And it's taking a month because he's picky? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, in some regard. Because he had people put roofs on and they weren't.
So how much longer is he willing to wait, knowing that it's the water, you're getting water
It's gas,
infiltration in the
it's
building?
damage inside.
I think your roof needs fixed right away.
I know. Well,
So if you drive around town, you look at signs in people's yards, we have all kinds of roofers around here. In fact, I wanna say probably close to 80% of the people in Huntington had their roofs replaced about 3 years ago because of a hailstorm. So they came out of the woodwork. And I'd be willing to bet that I can make a phone call and find a roofer to come and look at my roof in the next 30 days. So you should be able to do that too.
I could possibly take pictures of signs. in
Whatever you gotta
yards.
do. Do you have a timeline? Did she ever provide you with a timeline?
I didn't, but if I could ask for, maybe 30 days is too much to ask, but I mean, once you have a roofer lined up, it can be done in less than a week.
The painting should be done very soon, so
Yeah.
the roof, and that's it, correct? For the exterior?
Yes.
Yeah.
Further questions or discussion by board members? Questions for Ms. Shopper on behalf of her son Brian?
So, do you have a timeline at all for the rest of the stuff?
I mean, if I could ask for 30 days, I could ask for 2 weeks if it would really have to be pushed.
And I do understand, obviously painting and roofing is weather dependent, but having these things lined up and showing that you're doing it.
Yeah, they sell shingles all day. Go buy your shingles. Then you just gotta round the people up.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem. I mean, it isn't that we don't have money to pay for the
Okay,
material.
well then
It's-
let's go get the material and throw it in there and store it in the garage, wherever you gotta put it, and get moving on it.
Okay, I will relay that message, sure. And hopefully, we have an agreement with somebody really soon to get it done. I mean, obviously, anybody knows it's no good to let it get wet inside.
Are there tarps on the roof?
Cut me off if I'm overstepping, but I would like to see an agreement with a roofer at our next meeting. Is that something that we can arrange?
You mean like a signed contract?
Yeah.
I think that would be tough to add in because that requires a party external to it to make an agreement.
Okay.
So I think that would be hard to make Brian responsible for.
Okay.
If I may, the board's tools, if you will, are fines for willful non-compliance. You know, I don't know how far you can get into requiring actions of the property owners.
Beyond the order of enforcement
Okay.
itself,
Yeah.
the actual work.
The focus perhaps should just be on whether this stuff gets done or not.
Good clarification.
Thank you.
So at this time then, the board is presented with the option of either affirming the order of enforcement as it is and moving ahead with, demolition in that course of action, or to modify the order of enforcement, offering an extension to get the work done in a sufficient amount of time. And again, to that point, to Mike's point, I mean, if the board wishes to assess an additional fine for willful failure to comply, that is the board's prerogative.
I would like to make a motion to modify the order to June 1st, and request that the owner come to the June 1st meeting with a timeline with specific dates to complete everything that has not been completed up to this point, including I want recorded documentation of phone conversations or emails with contractors to walk the site and get a bid to get it roofed. A minimum of 3.
Well, you can't make anyone respond to you.
Yeah, as we just talked about, that's not a,
But I'm not
You
saying that they
document
have to
the
respond to
evidence.
her. What I'm saying is, I wanna know that she reached out, that she sent an email, or
Well,
made a phone call, or left a voicemail.
I do wanna clarify too, Ms. Shopper is not the owner, she's here on behalf of her son who is the owner. He would be the one that has to take these steps.
Whoever does it.
And you're requesting that he be the one that appears to the board next time, correct?
Sure, yes.
Okay.
Is he back?
Yes. But he isn't in Fort Benton, not
Okay.
in Huntington, but I'm sure he understands how pressing it is, and if he could get a signed contract with the roofing company, 12 days shouldn't be too much. Shouldn't be. or
I'm not
should be
asking for a
enough.
signed contract in 12 days. It just appears to me that there's been no progress in the last 30 days, and you haven't come here with any evidence that you've done anything. So I'm just asking for that. Because if my neighbors ask me about it, because they live next to that house, I have nothing to tell them. Other than, he's really busy.
Well, it is getting close, and the painting is almost done, or we got 3/4, and then the roof.
So you have a motion to modify the order, to, extend the deadline to June 1st, requiring Brian to be at the next meeting to provide an update at this time.
With a timeline, timeline
With
for
a timeline.
completion for anything that hasn't been completed.
With the timeline requested in the order of enforcement.
Yes,
Is there anything else in your motion? Is that the
No.
substance of it?
that's it.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Further discussion and consideration of the motion that's on the table. Not seeing or hearing at this time, we'll call the question in favor of the motion to modify the order of enforcement to extend the deadline to June 1st, requiring Brian to show up at the next meeting for an update and providing the timeline for completion as required in the order of enforcement. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Shump. Next item is status report for 521 William Street. Is there a motion to bring that to the floor for consideration and discussion today?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Commissioner Paul.
The owner is Horseman Apartment of Huntington LLC, 835 Anchorage Road, Warsaw, Indiana. This property had 2 orders of enforcement issued. One was a structural order, as we're calling it, and the other one was an extermination order. As of today, the orders have been in effect for 124 days. There has been $20,000 worth of fines assessed, $15,000 for pertaining to the extermination order, $5,000 for the structural order. And I am happy to report that as of May 13th, the remaining items for the corrective measures for compliance were provided. I got the copies of the letters from the electrical contractor, all the work was completed. The HVAC contractor, the plumbing contractor, along with a contract, a 2-year signed contract from the extermination company. The roofing repairs had been completed. And I think today's the day we're gonna find out whether that worked or not with the downpour that we had.
It'll be successful.
It's a good sign there. But yes, as of the 13th, they had completed everything that was required on the corrective measures for compliance. So my recommendation would be to release the order of enforcement at this time.
Okay. Questions or comments for Commissioner Paul's status update report?
do we plan on, you, will you be following up at all to make sure like the contract, the 2-year contract is followed up at all, or do you plan on getting emails from, like how does that follow up? Just once we rescind, that's done? Does it?
That's a good
Well,
point.
I mean,
Like how do we know?
You'll hear about it from the residents.
Okay.
yeah.
I like we
No,
go
I
through
mean,
this and
the-
I don't
the
know how
city
we follow
can't
up.
Take on that kind of role.
Yeah, and I just didn't know like once the contract's done, if there's any kind of,
No, if it's not being held in compliance, I'm sure we will hear from our neighbors.
okay.
And I do know that the health department has been doing their own
Yeah.
order and inspections and working with Wendy to,
Okay.
on those things as well. So the
They'll be
complaints on that,
surprised if there's an issue.
yeah, the
Okay.
complaints on that end should be going to them and for them to follow up on
All right.
and address.
Any other questions or comments for Shad?
You have no more need to go out there. You've seen what you've wanted to see and, okay,
Yep. Correct.
good.
So we do have the owner's representative, Ms. Smith, with us here today. I invite you to provide your own update on the matter, and if there's anything else you want to share with the board.
We did everything that was required and asked. As he said, I had informed him earlier, the health department is involved. I did a walkthrough with the health department today because there's already a threat to call the mayor, over, today's issue. However, Brian from the health department with this particular person had informed him today and is sending a email that he's to the point of contacting an attorney and filing charges against this particular tenant for harassment on the nurse. I guess you guys have a nurse at your.
At the county health department?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, he calls her 4 or 5 times, so today, we did a complete walkthrough, of his unit, so he could see for himself the issue that we were dealing with and what was going on. However, we did an addendum, which I had given to Shad, because we can't exactly go in front of the magistrate and ask for an eviction on somebody's cleanliness, which is a big problem. So we did an addendum, as we needed to do. He will not sign that addendum. So therefore, I am trying to evict him, at this point. But today, with the conversation with Brian, it's gonna be under his help. He's going to send him a notice that he has 3 days to do what needs to be done because of the pest control. We're paying $4,200 a month, and it's absolutely defeating the purpose because this particular tenant will not and refuses to cooperate. And I can't get him out. So they're going to help me. They're gonna send me notice, and then that gives me a black and white email from them to be able to present to the magistrate that this is a problem. So hopefully we'll be able to get him removed with that, but it's, we gotta wait for that, and there's a 10-day notice, and then the only other thing is the roof was repaired. I've been watching my phone the whole time because you guys just had a massive rain come through. I was waiting for her. I said, please text me if it is leaking and let me know, because this is where I have to be today. I've not received a text message from her.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's not sitting there and that it won't come through in a few minutes, but as of now, we have no issue. Outside of that, so the information from here in the health department has been sent to the bank. This is under the owner's request. He's not here, he's in Japan. Had asked if any of the fines could be revoked, since especially the extermination one had already started back in February, which we showed proof of documentation that was going on. If any of those could be revoked, since we started on it, worked on it continuously, didn't stop, and got everything done. So he spoke with the bank. There's not money in escrow to pay it, and we have used the budget for that property and some out of another property, to do the repairs as needed, which was over $20,000. So I told him that I would ask while I was here. all I can do.
Well, Ms. Smith, we appreciate you being here on behalf of the owner. As I recall, he missed the first meeting you were here with us because he was vacationing in Bali. Do I remember that correctly?
He's on vacation every month, so probably so,
Yeah,
yes.
so I do appreciate you doing your job as a dutiful employee to ask on his behalf, but I can't speak for the other members of the board, but I'm not inclined to forgive fines for somebody who's terminally on vacation, because he's obviously doing quite well in his cash flow, and I think he can afford to pay the fines for work that was first begun and requested in September of 2023, so.
Sure he will get an email.
I
to tell
appreciate
him
your
that.
efforts on this, but that's where I stand. Your request is received. Board members, do you have any comment to add to that, or since they're
Well
already?
said.
Already enforceable fines, they're not.
He's
doesn't
on
require
vacation.
action to
You,
affirm
he's on
it,
vacation
so.
every single month, and I get stuck doing his dirty work, so
Yep.
hey, I
Yep.
mean, it is what it is.
You.
It is what it is. That's well said, so. So I think you can safely communicate to him that we appreciate his hardship and we expect him to pay the fines.
You better get on it.
Me too.
Do you know how much the total of that is? Cause I know the last one was put on hold until this meeting for it to, I'm just, he's gonna be gone until the second week of June, and I just wanna give an accountant the heads up. Yeah,
Kind of you.
yeah, well, we still have to keep the business going whether he's here or not, so,
20.
was it 20? Okay,
But if
15 and 5.
if it's a lien, it doesn't get paid at the city building, it gets paid at the courthouse.
Yeah,
And they'll tack on a few dollars.
so all those liens have been, it's been assessed, or a lien has been installed. So those liens are just like your taxes, you have to pay that at the courthouse, at the auditor, or treasurer's office.
okay, do those
So you
need to
should
be?
check with them on the
I'm
total.
going to, cause I need to know if they need to be paid separately or conjoined or,
You can make one payment. The county may have their own fees that they
Okay.
tack on for processing.
okay,
But they can get you that information through the treasurer's office.
Okay.
And that way you've got a total number for the account.
I'll get you the number.
oh, okay, just email me.
Okay. But the order, did we?
We haven't said anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So then, at that point, based on the status update and the progress made on the work, then, the board is presented with the option of releasing the order of enforcement at this point. Is there a motion to that effect?
I make a motion to release the order of enforcement for the extermination and structural
Yes.
at this time.
Motion and second.
I second that.
Okay, we have a second. Further discussion, consideration of the motion to release the order of enforcement. Not hearing it this time, we'll call the question in favor of the motion to release the order of enforcement. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. The motion carries and the order is enforced, released at this time, so. Ms. Smith, thank you again for your work under your, the property owner's direction to get these things accomplished. I know that was quite a challenge and, we appreciate your efforts.
Thank you so much. Can I get that emailed to me, because I have to send the order of release to the
Yes.
thing?
I'll mail it and
Okay,
We don't need
all right, thank
Yep.
you.
Yep. Okay. Not aware of any miscellaneous items for the good of the order. Move along to consideration of accounts payable. Is there a motion to authorize payment of the bills incurred by the city of Huntington?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and second. Further discussion and consideration of the motion? Seeing or hearing any at this time, we'll call the question in favor of the motion to authorize payment of the bills incurred by the city of Huntington. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned. Have a great rest of your week.